BTC bleeding out again. These altcoins are sweating. The market is messy, but is Elon Musk coming to pump our bags just a little bit? Later on tonight, we got a big day today. We got Tesla earnings, lot happening, guys. I've got setups on altcoins. Some of them might play out right now. I've got a couple of others that we're waiting for if we get a little dip on BTC. So be ready, get your pens out, get your notes out. Big session here. Let's get right into this. And remember, as always, if you're enjoying the content, hit the like, hit the bell, hit the subscribe. You know the man is here. There's no rainbows, though, but the white hat is on. Okay, this white hat works. It dumps the market every time, but I'm not going for the inverse white hat here. I'm putting it on because I'm looking for a reversal. Maybe the crypto gods can come and save us. Banter Bubbles, predicted winner Bitcoin. This thing is going down, guys. Remember this competition. All you need to be is trading on one of the links in my show description here. And then you go into Banter Bubbles, you select win a Bitcoin, and then you guess the price of Bitcoin. If you get it right by the 1st of January, you're going to win 0.5 Bitcoin. If you're actually trading in the account that you signed up with, in that link in the show description there for the competition, then you'll get an extra 0.5 BTC if you get the price right. So things are looking good on that front. At least there's some prizes there coming for you guys. Now, Banter Bubbles, absolutely disgusting. And I mean, this ETH situation, they sold more bags, guys. I mean, it's actually offensive to me what is going on with ETH at the moment, and my bronus is running thin again. So we're talking about ETH as well, and tons of the coins you see in front of you. But also the big one today is this goat situation. Now, I know lots of you are going to try and short this thing, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to look at this thing and see how we can go. I see Tony loves red days, looking for longs. That's the spirit. This is where we excel. This is where we get our dips. And this is where we turn the money printers on, guys. So this is a massive show coming in today. Let's talk BTC quickly, and then we're going to jump into some extreme alpha here for you guys. Now, BTC, what did we do? We hung around our 67K hot zone for a couple of days. And what did they do while they were doing that? They just chopped these altcoins up, chop all day long. And finally, we've now lost that level, and we're moving into my next main hot zone. Now, my next main hot zone consists of an anchored VWAP that we pulled from the 10th of October, the lows. That's a hot little zone here at 65,800. Then anything down into the 65.4. Anywhere in this type of region for me is the next reaction zone. So I've got Ray on high alert here, and I'm locked and loaded on Prime XBT. We are looking for a potential bounce play on BTC. So Ray's going to keep us posted. Let's watch this region. Anywhere in this zone, I'm expecting some kind of reaction. And then to the upside, you can see here, I've marked this out, liquidity hot zone. Now this ties in with our liquidity heat map. If we do get some kind of short-term move later on today, or we do get some kind of bounce, there's a hot zone here just above 68K, and we're going to watch that one closely because for me, that is more than likely a rejection zone. So I'm still bearish now on BTC. We've lost this rising trend. We are bearish now until proven otherwise, and it's the same principle as always. We ride the trend up, we keep above the fun line, things stay good, then we lose the trend, and then we start the bearish trend and we start the moves lower down. So it's the same principle every single time. Okay, sometimes we bump up a little bit early, but right now you can see clear downtrend in play for BTC. And we can't be that bullish until we start breaking major levels, we start breaking trends again, we start playing that game. Okay, so as long as we got our bear hats on and we all understand one another, then we are good to go. But it's not that enjoyable at the moment, I must say, because I showed you this thing yesterday, and I'm feeling like this again today. I need to go home and get a hug, and I need somebody to tell me it doesn't matter what they say. They think I'm a great trader, and maybe I must phone my mom or something. Maybe she can tell me I'm a great trader here at the moment. So I just feel like I need to sit on someone's lap, maybe Ray's lap even. And what have I got here? Beginners versus veterans in crypto markets. Now I'm about to bring you some meme coin alpha. Okay, I'm bringing you a meme coin right now. Okay, here it comes. But I first want to play this video because this is what it's like. Okay, now there's no sound, but you get the principle. The newbie on the left there, the veteran. The veteran is me. Look at the newbies. Look at the guy panicking. Why is he panicking? Welcome to crypto, bro. What are you doing? Just chill. Enjoy the ride. And I mean, that's how I'm feeling in the meme markets as well. Never mind the altcoin market. Now, here's a meme coin for you guys. And I don't have like super secret alpha for you guys. All I've got is some sniffing around from some of the meme degens here in the office. They've done some private investigative work and they've shared it with me. So I'm going to share it with you and I'm going to show you what's going on. Here is an exchange called HTX. Okay, this is 𝗬𝗢𝗣𝗣𝗍. And they're posting memes, they're posting pictures and things like that. And if you can see this crypto I own and profits I expect, then you click on this thing, okay? And you look at this profits they expect. Look at this. There's a little cat here. There's a little thing that looks like Ponky. Then we can see Grok. But what is this little thing here? What is this little, I don't even know what this is, like a frog or something going on there. So that is information number one. Okay, then we go to the second tweet. Name this crypto that's gonna rock it. Okay, then I zoom into this thing. We can see 𝗬𝗢𝗣𝗣𝗣𝗑. We can see a dolphin, and then you zoom in. What is this little thing over here? Okay, so some of the meme degens actually know what that is, and that is the only alpha I have for you. So whether it's the intern at 𝗬𝗢𝗣𝗣𝗍 or HTX or whatever this exchange is trying to pump their own bags, that remains to be seen. So there's no actual alpha here other than picking up some clues from these tweets. But here is the token, and it's called Popo, and it's a $1.2 million market cap. That is all we have right now. So I bought some of this Popo just in anticipation of a little bit of action. And you can see there's a couple of buyers coming through here at the moment on Popo. There's a couple of big buyers. Look at that, 6,000, 6,000, 6,000. And the guys are putting things into this Popo situation. Maybe there's something happening out there. Maybe, maybe not. But what I want to give you is this Popo. Make sure you've got the right CA address. And you can see it here in the middle. It's the 6KJHG one, and it's 1.2 million market cap. So it's small. Remember, this can go to zero. If it turns out it was the intern just causing trouble on their thing, this thing can run. You can literally go to zero. So understand that the money can go poof and disappear very quickly. So what I'm interested in here, I've bought some of this Popo, and I've highlighted a zone here for you guys. If we get a dip into that region, I'm going to buy some more of this Popo. Now, let's see what happens. Okay, again, this is the meme game. This is you just need to understand your risks. Okay, and this level here for me is from the 73 level down to about 50, somewhere in that area. I'm going to buy some more in that type of region, obviously looking for a little bit of action. Now, we'll probably figure out in the next couple of weeks if it was a rug or if it was a pumper. Let's wait and see how this is going to play out. So there is a little bit of meme alpha for you guys. Good luck. Okay, let's go to zero together. Let's go 20x together. But promise me something. If this thing starts moving higher, make sure you're taking some of your capital out and de-risking very quickly. Okay, that is that then from Popo for you guys. Now, some of you guys want to learn about memes and trade memes. I found a nice little thread for you guys. This is from 𝗙𝗢𝗍𝗍𝗍, and he says, many use deck screener but don't even know how to set the right filters. These filters are what help you find hidden gems. Here's a guide. Okay, so anyone who wants to do some meme homework, there's a thread for you. He's going to tell you what to do. He's going to tell you how to do it. Maybe worth a read if you are in the meme game. Could maybe just up your skill set a little bit there. And Dad, we've had rug me, please. Guys, are you even in crypto? Are you even in crypto if you're not getting rugged or liquidated? Is it even fun if that is not happening? Okay, so he's back.
You get to see the rainbow when you get liquidated or rugged.
Bullish on getting rugged. Bullish on the rug. Okay, so we've got October. 4%. We're still hanging in there. Okay, so there's no issues just yet on October. We're going to talk about it, but the big one now. Okay, well, we're going to get to the big one. But Chimsu says crypto markets are so quiet. You can tell that retail is just obliterated. It's not your average mom and pop buying BTC here. And he's right. I mean, it's super quiet out there. And the bigger boys are slowly gobbling up all the supply. Pay attention. So remember, guys, it's we're still not in that season yet when the retail have come back. Now, tonight it could be a big night. Okay, why is Tesla important? Well, we know that Tesla recently moved a ton of Bitcoin around. Okay, so there's certainly going to be some questions today at the earnings call regarding BTC. Now, this is the kind of hopium we are hanging to here just to pump up some of these altcoins a little bit for us. But obviously, we're expecting on the earnings call later, maybe Elon's going to talk about some of the Bitcoin, what he intends to do with it, what his plans are, and naturally, that could start helping the crypto market. And second phase is maybe something happens to Doge. Okay, I just want to highlight these things. So we just need to be on our toes here. And naturally, if the information is pretty bad, we might start sending it a bit lower. And I'm talking about Doge as well. So what to expect here for the earnings preview? This is from Officer Donut. And he says what to expect on Wednesday after market close. And he says the option market is bracing for a move of 7.4% post earnings. Okay, historically over the decade, Tesla's stock has moved by an average of 8% following the earnings announcement. So you can read the rest here and what he's talking about. And just an interesting comment here that we can move about 8% after the call. Now, Tesla, they did not sell their 11,500 BTC last week. I did post this earlier on Twitter. Follow me at the Lord of Entry. And they've now rotated it into new wallets. Now, there was speculation that they were using it to finance some of their BTC. Who knows what's going to come out later in the wash. But so far today, the S&P rolling over a little bit. So not a great look for us. And we can see it's playing out in the crypto market as well. And then let's take a look at Tesla. Now, this I found very interesting. Now, how often have we seen this on things like Nvidia, on Apple, all these types of things where we're leading into earnings? We are always sitting on a critical level or against a critical level. Now, again, it's anyone's guess as to which way this is going to go, but you can see we've been floating around a trend, a 618, and a horizontal here for the last couple of days. And something tells me by looking at WaveMaster here, I'm using MDX Algo, WaveMaster here at the bottom. You can see the last few times that we did hit these lows in these types of regions, we did get a move up on Tesla. Some of them weren't that big, but we can see that when we hit these areas, we did get some kind of push. And you can see my WaveMaster on the daily, that is starting to trend a little bit lower. Maybe we're going to get some kind of reversal here for Tesla. Now, if we do get some kind of Tesla reversal, I'm not looking for much. I don't think it's going to be a long-lived affair because you can see we've got a nice big gap here that I'm highlighting for you guys. And if the market decides to pump this thing now tomorrow, now remember, earnings are after market. So the pre-market's going to be pumping higher or dumping lower tomorrow before the market opens. If we do open higher, I'm expecting this gap to be filled and then possibly that rejection on Tesla. So that's my high hopes for Tesla at the moment. And the reason I'm bearish on Tesla is if we go on the daily, you can see this thing looks okay. It looks like we could bounce in that region. But if we go on the 3-day on Tesla, we've got a clear double top here. And that is normally a bearish sign. So we got a double top leading onto this trend. And also my MDX WaveMaster is starting to still turn lower. It's telling us we need to perhaps come a little bit lower. So that tells me a longer term, this thing could be bearish. If we look at this thing on the weekly as well, you can see this WaveMaster is at the top. So maybe wanting to push a little bit lower down. So something to watch.
Is BTC,
yes,
is BTC pumping back up? Take a peek.
Oh, off the anchored VWAP, ladies and gentlemen, look at this. Look at this. Off the anchored VWAP, 65,800. What a little banger there so far. Okay, so we're going to keep our eyes on this thing. And we actually need to dig into the 15-minute candles there, Ray. Okay. So Tesla, we know, okay, looking a little bit bearish. What does this mean for Doge potentially? Okay, so we know the history, we know the relationship with Doge. What do we also know? We know Doge has had a big pump of late, and there's been a little bit news around Doge. Okay, so what we can see on the higher time frame for Doge doesn't look great. Okay, from this perspective, it looks like it wants to actually come down to 13. This is the most obvious zone for me, the 13 level on Doge. But if there is going to be some short-term move here on Doge, what we can do is start looking at things like Easy Algo. So what I've done here with Easy Algo on the 1 hour, I've just put a couple of things together. So a little bit of information we can use. Number one is, okay, this is Doge now on the 1 hour. We've got Doge above our weekly pivot. That we understand, okay? That means we are trending up. Then we've got our daily pivot above the weekly pivot. That's also telling us we are potentially trending up on Doge. So if you're looking for a sneaky little entry on Doge here for a potential pump long here on Elon, what I would suggest here is wait to get above this daily pivot. Once we start breaking above that daily pivot, you're going to be using the lows of the daily pivot as your support. Then any retest there, you're going to be looking for those buys in that type of zone. So if you want to play a slightly risky play here on Doge, so you really need to wait for this daily pivot to get broken. Once that pops higher, you're going to use 0.14 as your support. And then let this thing start churning higher. Potential targets where you could get a rejection, 0.148, 0.154. So what you need Doge to do, for those of you that don't have easy algo, you want to break 0.14. You want to break it well. You want to then start using that daily pivot low as your support marker. Look at that. Support marker, and then you want to send this thing potentially higher. Okay, so that is your risky Doge play that is on the table there for you guys. But if we zoom out and we have to be totally honest with ourselves, 1.3 looks like a hot zone. 119 also looks interesting to me. So let it be, let it do what it needs to do. If you're an absolute degen, well, I've given you the clues. We might also just see something simple, just like this on Doge, and then maybe a bigger move later on. So something to watch, definitely something to pay attention to, and definitely topical there with Elon. Okay, so I'm ready to go here on Prime XBT, right? Okay, you can see we've got a bit of resistance here. Okay, I want to see that hard dump, that dump. That's what I like to see. Okay, we're going to keep watching here. And I still like this 65 zone here. It's the 382. It's the horizontal. You can see we've also got liquidity candles in the zone. So we just want to see this move. Okay, let's keep watching. Okay, what's next here? BTC on the daily. This is an important one for you guys, and this is what tells me we might need to go a little bit lower while we're waiting. And a very simple game plan. This is BTC on the 3-day. So I've taken my fibs from the low to the high, and I've identified my most bullish regions. Where do I get a bullish retest here after a nice pump? If this was a 15-minute candle, we'd be looking for entries in these types of levels. So 65,400, you can see I've got 3 daily levels here. I've got the 236 bullish fib, so there's nice tie in there. Then 62,900, that's roughly 63k. That's my 200-day moving average as well. Big 382 pool, multiple 3-day daily candles, so we know that's also a bullish zone there for BTC. So we cannot actually be that bearish on the 3-day chart. This tells me we could easily get a situation like this playing out for us on BTC. So let's be prepared from that perspective as well. And also, I mean, the last few times we did hit these types of highs, look at the dumps that we got. Okay, so it is concurrence. Great concurs. So remember, guys, everything is possible. All we can do is control the controllables. And what can we do? We can manage the hot zones that we understand where this thing could go. We can buy them on those regions, and we can sell them at the TP zones. Anything that starts happening after that, obviously, it's all speculation. So right now, we watch the levels in front of us. Let them play out. If they don't play out, then we start looking at the lower one. So, we don't want to say 80K. We don't want to say 50K. We're watching what's in front of us here. Reaction zones coming. And what does James do? What does he want to see move? What does he not want to see move?
He doesn't want to see 63K. He's petrified.
No, I mean, I don't want to see 63K. Fuck me. I'm getting chopped up still. I mean, these alts, there's just no momentum. We're getting like 2% moves, and then they're coming back. And very frustrating conditions at the moment. And here's the others chart. So as you can see, we are getting chopped up. And if we look at others on a weekly perspective, we can't be bearish yet. There's still a bit of downside here. To be fair, there's downside. 200 billion is what we're looking at on the others chart at the moment. So all is well still. Okay, we're not at panic stations yet. We're just having a typical little bleed out at the moment. Now, something that can be a nice tool for you guys is the dominance chart. And this is dominance on the 4-hour. And you can see it's responding really nicely to basic TA. And I showed you guys this yesterday. We got a nice bounce off the horizontal, and that started the alt bleed out. So the alt pump that we had recently, nice. Now we're bleeding out on the altcoin. So what do we do now as altcoin traders? Where can we get a rejection? So we're almost in our first zone here, the 58.7. That would be a rejection zone. That might offer a little alt bounce for us. Then our next big zone, 59.1%. That is where we most likely get some kind of alt bounce now based on the dominance chart. Now we need to tie them in, because I've got some setups. Now, I haven't seen my charts in 20 minutes, so some might be actually rinsed right now. So I'm getting them ready for you. But then I've got setups on things like Injective, on Tao, Pendle that we are waiting for. We might get them in the next 4 hours here, guys. So you need to be ready. And we can start tying this in with some of these this dominance level here. Okay, let's talk ETH. I mean, Ray, fuck these guys. Look at this shit. And the ETH Foundation sold another 100 ETH in 20 minutes. They don't even like their own product. I don't even know what to say anymore about the ETH situation. But if the guys that are ETH are selling their own tokens, I can't far against that. Bro, they're rugging me. They fully rugging me, okay? And I mean, yeah, they don't even back their own product. They're just dumping their ETH. I mean, this really, it's very, very frustrating for me. And here we go.
Garbage.
No, fuck these guys. I mean, they're sending us to zero. So, okay, I've started my last ditch ETH situation. I started laddering into an ETH position, and this is it for me. 2,480. That's our big level. That's the big one I'm watching. And remember, we've got a 50-day MA in the zone as well. Let me just highlight that for you guys. And 2,480, this is your level. Okay, if we start losing that thing, it starts getting very ugly again, and ETH starts looking a little bit tired. So I've got another limit order set here at 2,500, waiting to pick that up. But right now, guys, absolute dog show. Okay, if there was ever a fake out on ETH, I mean, it makes me feel like these guys pumped the ETH price so they could just exit us, right? Maybe they were watching my show. They saw my ETH breakout trade and they were like, ha ha, we're going to take this guy. And now it's coming down. So guys, yeah, let's go to zero with ETH and 2,500 now, looking for a bounce there. If we don't, you've got a last ditch attempt here. You've got a last ditch attempt on that trend, and then we're coming down to 2,200. So ETH bonus is out. Once I lose that 50-day MA, ETH bonus is out for at least another 2 days until I become an ETH bro again. Okay, so that is the ETH. That's the ETH play. Now, interesting Google search trends here. Sol versus ETH are head to head in terms of overall search. Country distribution seems to be ETH is more popular in North America. Okay, very nice. And Sol is more popular in Asia, Russia, and Mexico. I mean, that's pretty interesting to me. So here's a nice little chart for you guys. And these things are head to head here at the moment. Let's just find that one. That is what I want to see. And ETH, look at that. ETH is big in Australia, New Zealand. It's big in South Africa, South America. Look at that. And the Russians seem to love their Sol at the moment. So there's an interesting stat for you guys. And obviously, we're going to talk Sol, highest daily economic activity in Solana history. Okay, why is Sol looking so good at the moment? The market is falling over and Sol is just chilling. Okay, just absolutely relaxing up here, and no changes to my plan on Sol. You can see our big levels here. So anybody trading Sol with me, I've got that big Sol position that I've been growing. My next order 157 and my next order 149. I've got limit orders sitting there waiting to pick this up. If we do get any bleed out, we'll have to wait and see now if this thing's going to move or not, because it's showing so much strength at the moment relative to the rest of the market. And you can see on our smaller time frame, this is Sol on the 4 hour for you guys. And DGens, if we do get a little dump in Sol, what you can do, well, first things first, you can see we've got a little triangle forming here. Again, there's no guarantees the triangle breaks to the upside. And I remember many trades on Matic. Whenever we got that triangle situation on Matic and it looked bullish, they would always fake it up and then send it straight back down. And, I don't like these triangles that much, to be honest. And this thing is now teeing up for something. So watch this area now on Sol. You can see the big levels here. Any dip zones for me? 162. Okay, anchored VWAP, you can see we're holding up nicely. 162, nice little level for us. But then a DGen zone here. This is a long play for you guys. 157. That's where I've got my other limit order set to collect any dumps on Sol. 157. I've got VWAPs there. I've got 618. I've got horizontals. I've even got an old 786 pool in that region. So 157, hot zone for Sol. I think you're going to snag a little entry there if you do catch that one. So look out for that. Now, let's look at my misery here and let's see what's going on. Okay. Here's a couple of trades. So I'm still getting chopped up in this WSOT. We're just not getting these moves. And right now, today, I've played Dupe. It was an easy algo breakout trade that I dropped in Sniper Club. I'm going to take you guys through that, show you how we did that. AVAX, I've got the AVAX chart for you guys. Ponky hit my zone from yesterday, and we're going to have to see now. It looks like it's bleeding a little bit here. We might have to start cutting that one. BNB, that's a short from the show that we brought you guys on Monday, and that BNB is slowly just ticking over there for me. And then whiff. I've started a little whiff position, and I think it's an interesting one because I think we're in a possible reversal zone here on whiff at the moment. So let's start with BNB. For those of you that remember, we pumped into the short zone and we started building a short there on BNB. So right now, BNB is moving into our trend bounce zone on the daily. But for me, we're remaining bearish now. There's no reason for me to close this thing until we start breaking some big highs on BNB. So I'm not fussed with the current short situation. I'm going to let this thing do what it needs to do. Any pumps on BNB, I'm going to start adding to that short. And I am ultimately just looking for a few targets lower down. So BNB, expecting it to break this trend at some point. And if we do start breaking these highs, well, then I'm going to need to reassess the situation. But holding that short for now, let's see how this thing goes. And targets for BNB, 550. And then lower down, I've got 480. Those are the big targets that we're going to see. Now, if we're going to 480, on BNB. It's the market's going to be dark. Okay, so just remember, like, it's not a great look if we are at 480 on BNB, because you're going to see a lot of these things dropping to lower levels. Now, the other one I've got for you guys is Dupe, and Dupe higher time frame for you guys. We've got another 14% to go on Dupe. And interesting move. Remember, Dupe is a nice soul play. When you've got soul strength, you play Radium, you can play Jupiter as well. And then naturally, you can play some of the soul memes like Popcat, one of my favorites, and things like that. But Dupe and Radium, they are bangers when there is soul strength. And you can see that Radium chart I showed you yesterday, completely outperforming. And Dupe maybe having a little go today. So on the bigger picture, on the daily here on Dupe, we've got a 14% move still to come. How do we get there? Again, it could be choppy. Okay, it could be a little mess all the way up there. But what I did do was jump into an easy algo setup that I dropped for you guys. And I see Ferdy says, fuck ETH. Yes, that's a meme coin that I gave you guys not too long ago. And that is actually going to probably become relevant as well now in this current situation. So here's Dupe on the 1 hour. Remember what I like to do. If I like to identify a zone higher up, how do we get there? We try and play breakout plays. We try and use, little tricks that we have to try and move into that next region, or try and take advantage of what the upside could be. So you can see what I've done here with Dupe. And this was a setup I dropped earlier on Sniper Club today in our Zoomex or our WSOT channels. And it was a simple daily pivot play for me. So I picked up that Dupe was breaking above that daily pivot, and then started laddering into a position, looking for that trend break, and it popped. We've now added a little bit to this Dupe, and now I'd like to obviously see this thing hold. So support levels that I'm watching at the moment on Dupe is 0.976, and then lower down 0.958. So that is the game plan there on Dupe, and then that is hopefully the ticket for this 14% move. So watch out for that one. And remember, Dupe is actually a great spot bag hold for you guys as well if you're interested. So main levels that you want to watch if you're a spot bag holder is 92, 92.50, somewhere in that region. There's big support there, 382 horizontals, trend, nice little zone there for us there on Dupe. So could be a great spot bag hold. Remember, this thing can do things, okay? Can move a little bit. We've got highs there at 1.8. Potential interesting targets on soul strength. So that is a nice one there for you guys. And then Dupe, Ponky. Okay, so I'm going to have to start cutting this Ponky, or start looking at cutting this Ponky position. So yesterday on the show, we were looking for this dip into our hot zone. And what did they do? They've dipped into our hot zone now today. So we had a break of horizontal. We had our retest. We've had a couple of bounces there, and now it's fading with the market. So there's one more level left here on Ponky for me that is interesting. Well, there's two more. Okay, the next one is 0.418. That's our 618 in horizontals. Looking for something there. You'll naturally pull out a trend. Okay, you're looking for that. And then if we do dip a bit lower, we've got this little rising trend. Now, remember, this is the squeeze setup that we like. We want to see these, but we want to see them hold. You generally, when you get that break of horizontal, you want to see the bulls step in. And today they try to step in, but they've now failed on us. So they've bailed on Ponky for now. So just play this one safe. And if you are looking for some Ponky action, look down here. Okay, look in that type of region here, from this 42 down to about 41, somewhere in that type of zone. Alternatively, wait till it breaks higher. If it's going to, then we'll get some kind of action there on Ponky. So remember, guys, as we dialing in here and we're doing these degen plays, they carry a different amount of risk. If you're holding spot bags, margin bags, those types of things, let them do the work for you. Let them cruise. You've got big stops. You've got all these types of things. If you're trading leverage, you've got to be a little bit more greedy with your entries. And you can see we play a typical entry zone here. This time it's failed. Okay, this time we are potentially looking a little bit lower now on Ponky. So we'll keep watching this one, but might have to start cutting that at some point. Okay, let's go Zoomex comp. This is important. And I'm building a nice little Popcat position. Well, at least I've got a martingale strategy here that I'm trying on Popcat. Now, the Zoomex comp that we've just started running, it's quite nice. It's got a very low barrier to entry. You need $150 to trade in the competition. And what I want to do here is try and build a turbo-sized Popcat position, okay, just using $150 clips here if we need to. And I want to try and start adding to these things. Obviously, if Popcat completely falls over, the strategy goes to zero. But martingale strategy is effectively laddering in on some key positions here, and it's small amounts of capital, and then we hopefully get our little reversal at some point. So Ponky's been an absolute banger for me lately, and I really wanted to focus on it on the Zoomex comp and see if we can get something going. So if you want to join me on the Zoomex comp, that link is now working. I believe yesterday there was a problem with the Zoomex comp link, all you need to do is jump into the link in the show description. Join me on the Zoomex competition. It's exclusively my competition. And there are no other teams, anything like that. It's an internal competition, and there's prize funds for the top 10. So the top 10 in P&L that win this thing are going to win a share of the prize fund. And right now you can see the prize is $3,500 prize pool. Everyone in the top 10 is going to get some money out of this thing. So jump in here, and then they've also told us, there's the link, and jump in here because they've also told us the more people that join, the bigger the prize pool is going to be. So the top 10 are going to start benefiting a lot more than that $3,500. But guys, we actually need you to jump in. We need numbers in here so that we can get this thing going. Okay, so Popcat, let's talk Popcat. I'll explain my strategy to you at the moment. And this is now Popcat on the 1 hour. And there's a couple of interesting things that I've been watching. So we've traded this one really nicely lately. And what we've noticed is it responds incredibly well to fibs. It responds incredibly well to the VWAP. It responds well to just general TA things. So that's always a good start for us. And Popcat today, you can see I started that Zoomex position yesterday, and then I added on that dip that we had earlier today. Now this thing is reversing. Where did it reverse? 618. Okay, very interesting how these market makers are keeping Popcat operating on basic TA things here. So what I want to see now, you can see I've got a rising trend here on Popcat. This will be my ultimate lows. Don't really want to go lower than that. What I'm going to do now on this next dip is I'm going to have a limit order ready here at 1.32. So just like we've seen that bounce off that hot zone, I'm looking for that bounce off that zone as well. And then we're going to have to figure out how we play this thing after that. So we're looking for that little dip at 1.32. And if we get that bounce and we start breaking new levels, then I'm going to start adding and trying to grow the size even more on this Popcat. But until we start breaking these big levels and holding them, I'm going to try and accumulate on these types of levels. So 1.32 is the next one. Then we know we've got a nice hot zone here as well. And this is our anchored VWAP that we've responded to very nicely. So I just want to highlight this region here for you guys as well. And this is 1.285. So 1.285 is another interesting zone there on Popcat. So all the time, I'm going to keep my eye on this oscillator here at the bottom as well. And we're looking for these types of reversals on these things. You can see earlier today, it printed a little green triangle, and that gave us that trigger off that big zone. If we now dip into the next one, looking for that trigger. So right now it is on a hot zone, but this is now the second test of that hot zone. I've already added. I don't want to add again because I don't want to put the account under pressure. We want to let it drift a little bit lower if it wants to, and then we're going to grab it on that 1.32 level. Okay, so if we do start losing big levels, then we're going to have to reassess the game plan. Yeah, or I'm going to have to reassess my game plan. You can see we've got a big trend here, and this big trend is that trend that I showed you on the daily time frame. So if we start losing this big trend, it starts opening up very bearish things here on Popcat, and then we start looking at one. So we don't want to deal with that just yet. We're looking for some bounce action here first on Popcat. So slow and steady is the game plan here at the moment. Now let's talk about this goat. I know lots of you want to know about goat, and Sean, yeah, he's asking about it. Now this thing's breaking all types of record. It's surpassed $600 million market cap. Okay, today. Now, how fast does this thing happen? First 30 days after launch on popular meme coins. Okay, goat is the goat. Okay, below we can see the performance of a few viral meme coins on the first 30 days after launch. They've given you a nice little chart just showing you how these things are playing out. And GOAT is following a very similar pattern to wave one of 𝗙𝗢𝗄. Okay, here is a clearer picture, and let's take a look. What do you mean wave one of 𝗙𝗢𝗄? Look at this thing. Here's wave one. Okay, down there. I mean, is this thing going to turn absolute savage on us? And you can see what followed, but also observe wave 2 and 3. Of course, the pattern could be different for GOAT, but what goes up must come down. Okay, so yes, this GOAT's launched on Bybit today. And a lot of fanfare around this thing. And it's a tricky one. And if you want to jump in and short these things, we don't have much information available on these types of charts to try and figure out where we can try and short this. So you almost have to let it do its thing. You have to let it come down. Then you can look for shorts maybe on the next pump on this thing. So it's very risky to try and jump in randomly trying to short these things when we don't have information, because we had all-time highs. Okay, we're in price discovery now. It's hard to pick a top. We don't have a resistance band. We don't have anything in the way for us. So just play this thing safe. If you're trying to short it, just be careful, okay? I mean, lots of people are going to be trying to short this thing, and anything can happen. So all I want to say is just play it safe. If you do want to catch a ride up the escalator again, there's a nice little level here. And if these market makers are kind, they're going to follow basic TA. So look at that. 382, horizontals in play here. This is the 1 hour that we're watching, and you could get a little bounce here at 0.53. Now, this thing's going to be volatile. Remember, these memes are always going to be a little bit intense. So 0.53, you can watch that zone, and maybe you can catch something there. If we lose that trend, yes, it's bearish again. We probably take out some of that liquidity down there, and then maybe start pushing a little bit higher. So just play this thing safe. No advice here other than just don't get wrecked. Okay, trying to short this thing. Don't get wrecked trying to long this thing. Ray, what's your view on this thing, bro? Did you get that?
I got the short, but I cut it early because I was nervous because it is so volatile.
Yeah,
I did catch a nice short because, I mean, you can play the reversion play on moving averages. If anybody here plays moving averages, you just play the reversion back and get the fuck out. Keep it safe.
Well, okay, it's another 10%. It's another 10% down to this horizontal. I'd say it's in no man's land now. There's no long, there's no short here. Now you need to wait. So 53, see what happens at 53. If it starts losing that trend, then you might have something. If it starts breaking down, a little bit lower, you get something like that. Okay, then you can maybe look for some short. Remember, we just invert the chart. Very simple game plan. Yeah, invert the chart. And if we do lose that trend, look for that retest. Then you get some kind of bearish entry there for you. And maybe you can send that one a little bit lower. So just be careful on that. That's all I can say. And then Beam, I wanted to bring up Beam again, guys. It's and I'm talking Beam and AVAX. AVAX, what an absolute shitcoin today. And it's just been melting down. And I thought, let's talk about Beam. They are sort of interlinked here because Beam is on AVAX or something along those lines. And they're both in the gaming sector. So Beam, I brought to you guys a couple of days ago. Now, we had a nice pump on Beam, and 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is talking about the strongest non-native treasury. Supply is greater than demand mismatch. Direct link between dollars and tokens. Read his reasoning. Okay, but it's an important thing because this Beam is a proper situation, I believe. And you can see we had our first test on the 200-day MA. Nice hard rejection. So what I was saying to you guys earlier in the week when we spoke about this thing, when we get a clean break above that 200-day MA, that for me really triggers a nice long on Beam. Until then, we need to wait a little bit, let it do its work. I gave you the support. So if you did take this trade, your support is 0.017, 0.0169. That is your big support you're watching. When we break this 200-day MA, things are turning pretty bullish on this Beam for me. So I want to just remind you guys again, I've got spot bag of this stuff. And I think when we break that 200-day, we can start pressing. So just make sure we clear 0.0199. If we clear 0.02, anywhere in that region, a nice big break of that zone, then we're going to use that as support for us. And then we start riding it higher. There are targets here, 89%, a little bit less than that as well, maybe about a 40%. But for me, there's a trade coming here on Beam. Let's just break the bullish level there and get this thing cracking. Now, AVAX has been an absolute shitcoin today. Ray, do you ever trade this thing, bro? This thing it's been absolute pain and suffering. And AVAX are into the block. Says AVAX new adoption rate is on the rise. Well, the price is on the decline. Okay, they're sending us to zero at the moment for AVAX. So I don't know what's going on. I mean, if you look at Sol, you look at all Phantom, you look at all these others, they're all looking great. And then AVAX is just rinsing all day long. So, maybe we're going to get a little entry here on AVAX. And this is AVAX on the daily that I've mapped out for you. So proper bleed out at the moment. But what is notable to me here on AVAX, we are sitting on a level now. Okay, level number 1 is this region, this 26 zone where we are on the daily. I've got an anchored VWAP from a dump earlier. I've got the rising trend. I do have some horizontals in play here on AVAX. This is the daily chart. So you can see this is a zone of interest. You can see all these daily levels here. You can see we've played around in this region before, and this could offer some kind of bounce. Now, Bitcoin's going to have to play ball here for us on the daily if we are going to get that reversal. And then very simply, if we start losing this trend on AVAX, your next big zone, you're looking at about the 24, 25 zone. And then this thing is now flipping a little bit bearish for us. So just be careful there with AVAX. Just play it safe if you are trying to play this one. And I'm going to zoom in here on the 4 hour just to give you guys a little bit more of a picture. And you can see we are now dipping into our trend region, our VWAP region. So just be careful. What is interesting to me is my oscillator here at the bottom also looking a little bit oversold at the moment. So really just want to see this thing start turning up. When that thing starts turning up, then we know the reversal is on. So right now it's still dumping. Okay, so this could actually send us lower until we get one of these types of prints here. And one of these bullish prints that you're going to see. When we get those, that's going to be a signal for us that maybe it's going to be okay then for that AVAX its reversal. But right now, absolute dog shit, Ray. This thing looks terrible at the moment. So, yeah, watching that level, and let's see how that plays out. Now, I've got a couple of entries locked and loaded on Bitfunded, and I've got two of them. Actually, I've got Pendle I'm waiting for, and I've got Injective I'm waiting for on Bitfunded. Now, I've preset these entries. I've preset stop losses. And if you guys want to copy this, you're welcome to. My stop loss on Pendle, 4.32, 4.34. And then I've got Injective stop loss, 19.36. Now, these are subject to change when we hit these levels. So if I'm actively in front of the PC or the Mac when this is happening, I'll try and manage that trade. And but these are hard stops for now. I'm making the assumption I'm not going to see it if we hit these levels. Entry levels that I'm looking at, order price for Pendle, 4.46, 4.469. And then Injective, 19.65. Now, Bitfunded, just to remind everybody, Bitfunded is a prop funding trading platform. So you send them $79 or $100 or more, and they give you a $5,000, $10,000 account, $15,000 account if you want. If you want to send them more, then you get 8% phase 1, 5% phase 2. Show them that you can trade. This is demo trading. And then they give you a funded account that you guys can use. So I've preset these orders in hot zones. I'm going to show you the charts now, and I'm looking for those to play out for me on Bitfunded. So simple game plan there. There is a link in the description, guys. Remember, everything I talk about here, including MDX, Algo, Easy Algo, everything is here in the description for you. Bitfunder's there. It's all there. Okay, so take a look, and all these things that I jump through all day long, and you can find that at your leisure. And here is Injective on the 1 hour. Now, I've been waiting for this one pretty much all day. Okay, I dropped this setup earlier in Sniper Club as well, and it's just been a slow day waiting for this thing to drift. But sometimes you just really need to be patient and sit back and wait. And Injective finally dipping into a zone that we've been waiting for. So this is the 1 hour chart that I'm watching. Why is this region interesting to me? Well, it's generally a 786 fib. We know 786s often give us a nice reaction because that means the market is bled out. 382 bled out, 618 bled out. Everyone is max bearish. Everyone is opening shorts, those types of things. And then when we hit that 786, sometimes we get a nice reaction. Okay, and that is what I plan for now with Injective. You can see we are dipping lower. We've also got horizontals in play here for Injective, and you can see it is a relatively hot zone. So my entry here, I've just explained it on Bitfunded, but anywhere in this box, 19.69 down to about 19.47, anywhere in that region. Okay, you want to start sniffing around in that zone. Remember, the key to these types of trades is you can grab a little order in that first region, maybe bang one or two in, just ladder them into that box. Once you've triggered that, then you want to watch that trade. You want to manage that thing. At some point, you get consolidation on the 15 minutes or things like that. Then you get a trend break. Then you can start adding to these things. So if you hit these hot zones, sometimes you get ahead of the game. And again, you don't have to ape in. It needs to be a small, manageable position that's not going to stress you out. When you get momentum, you start adding to this thing. And you can see we've got a super sharp downtrend at the moment. At some point, this thing should reverse and start turning higher. So that is the game I'm playing for Injective. And it seems to tie in nicely with some of these levels. And I'm going to show you my next setup as well on Pendle. But just to finish Injective, I'm using MDX Wavemaster here. And you can see on the 1 hour, this thing is super bottomed out as well. And just want to let this thing finish bottoming out. And hopefully it's going to tie in with that type of level. Now, the risk in this zone is roughly 1.2%. If you can get your average entry somewhere in there, your risk is about 1 to 1.5%. Okay, so again, manage your risk. Understand if you're trading leverage, 10x, 20x, understand it's 1 or 2% times 20. That is the size of your risk that you can lose. Remember, the upside on leverage trading is you can make quite insane gains. I mean, the upside target here is 21.5. The other upside target is 20.4. So there's decent targets here to be had if this thing does bounce for us. So okay, you've got it. You got the picture. Manage your risk. The stop risk, 1 to 2%, give or take on that zone. And for me, ideally, I'd want a candle close under 19.37, but I have set a hard stop, as you can see. So if I'm not around, it will just ping that stop, and then we reassess tomorrow how we are going. Okay, and another one. Here we go. Okay, this one, Pendle. We've been waiting for this one for a couple of days now. And finally, on the 4 hour, this thing is starting to look interesting to me. So it was looking pretty bearish yesterday. We had that head and shoulders. But the interesting thing is, on the bigger picture, this thing was looking like it might be ready to start pushing higher. On the bigger picture, it's broken quite big levels. And we want to hold that first big zone for us on Pendle. So the area of interest for me, 4.46, you can see that in my order on Bitfunded. Why is this a nice zone? 200-day moving average in play. You can see this blue line over here. Horizontals in play for me, 618. We know 618 gives us a banger. Anchored VWAP, banger, and trend, banger. So I've got 200-day MA, 618, anchored VWAP, horizontals, trends. I've got 5 levels of confluence here. So for me, that's worth taking a look at some risk on this potential position. So the risk here, if you can average into your entry, is going to be about 2.5%. And remember, simple game plan. If you start losing the trend or we close under the trend, we're turning bearish. This trade is invalidated, okay, and it means it's over, guys. It means you're getting rinsed.
Yeah,
and
then
we get
the rainbows and we're wrecked. The wrecked rainbows.
Then there's no more rainbows. Okay, then there's no more rainbows. So remember, play your risk carefully. But again, for those who waited for this position, well done. Okay, you haven't wasted any money. So if you were trying to trade Pendle 2 days ago when I was showing you that chart, you haven't wasted money now. You've sat back patiently. You've waited for your zone. So you haven't tried a few times. You're waiting for the big zone. If that zone doesn't work, your risk 2%, then you're done. And then we try and tee up another one tomorrow. I see Matty Slim says we need some prayers. Let's see. I'm sure we got some emergency prayers. Did that help? Did that help you guys? I hope it helped you guys. Okay, let's talk 𝗬𝗢. Also, moving into a hot zone here for us. So I don't want to discount 𝗬𝗢. I don't want to say 𝗬𝗢 doesn't bounce here. And I think we're getting pretty close. Why is this interesting to me? 618, 200-day MA, anchored VWAP, horizontals. It looks like a hot zone. Okay, I've also got Wavemaster here at the bottom telling me we might get some kind of reversal. Look at this. When Wavemaster turned this type of green last time, look at the move we got out of 𝗬𝗢. Okay, now we are dipping into the zone again here using MDX Wavemaster. There it is. I'm waiting for that yellow dot. If we can get, you see that yellow dot there? We can get this yellow dot print there. That might be a sign for us on 𝗬𝗢. So I don't want to say 𝗬𝗢 isn't going to bounce here. You can see I started that 𝗬𝗢 position here in, nice. I'm getting rinsed on dupe. Love it. Yes, where's this thing? There's 𝗬𝗢. Okay, so I started a 𝗬𝗢. I got a $4,200 position on this account for 𝗬𝗢. And started in that zone. So looking for some kind of reversal. You can see it's starting to brew in the zone. But again, same story. We manage our risk. We need to understand where are our next zones. If this thing fails, where can this thing go? Can you manage a drawdown deeper than that? That is the calculations you need to make. So number one, let's see from this current zone to under that VWAP, it's about 4%. So remember, meme coins, small positions, okay? Small positions, buy them in these dips into these types of zones. Look for structure in this area. Look for structure in that zone, maybe a stop hunt. Then you get your push out of 𝗬𝗢. So really, just be patient on this one. Nibble around, and see. But what I can see on the 4 hour here, we're almost at a reversal point. So just a little bit of patience. Now, the entry level here for 𝗬𝗢 traders, I would say anything from 2.38 down to, even if they push it, 2.32, somewhere there, and then you want to cut under 2.28. I'm going to mark this for you guys. Remember, Ray's going to drop these charts in the Sniper Club, and you can then have a little bit of context here for you guys. But 2.28, if you start closing under there, maybe you're looking to cut 𝗬𝗢, but by then I suspect it's going to be close to some kind of bounce. So again, manage your risk there, play it carefully, and guys, as always, don't take all the trades I give you. Pick one or two of your favorites, mark them on your charts, take the notes, wait for them to play out, have a go, okay, then come back tomorrow. We have another go again. We got a couple of setups for you guys, and you can't trade all these things that I give you. So just pick your absolute best. And guys, as always, so as I was saying, after the show, drop it in the comments what tokens you want me to chart tomorrow, and that really works well. Ray gives me the tokens, then I can incorporate it in the show. All these charts you see are in Sniper Club. There's a link in the description, and you can grab that stuff. There's tons happening in there, and that is a wrap from me. Ray, any news on BTC here?
No.
S&P's going to 0.
Getting closer. 65.9.
Okay, so guys, just hang in there. Okay, just hang in there. Okay, we're moving into this reaction area here. I'm going to start nibbling. Probably after the show here, we're going to start nibbling. We just want to get it lower, 65.5, that type of region. Let's just get that push into that region. I think we're going to get a bounce there on BTC. So watching that, it's not being helped by the S&P. Look at this thing going straight to zero at the moment. So S&P falling over. And remember, my stop on Prime XBT is sitting at 5,730. So let's see how that plays out. We don't want to see it fall over too hard, but we know the S&P does like to bounce on these horizontals. Let's see if we get
can we give them Phantom?
What do you want to do with Phantom?
Well, we got some requests for it.
What, right now?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Okay, let's get the Phantom Perps chart out. I like to use the Bybit charts. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, let's go clean chart. Okay, let's get our 50-day MA. Remember, 50-day MA, very important, guys. We need this. Oh, look at that. You see, nice little support marker there for us. Okay, trends. Okay, and here's something interesting. Now, you guys are going to pick this up on a lot of charts. You can see there's a golden cross. Now, remember, these golden crosses means the 50-day MA is crossing above the 200-day MA. That's supposed to indicate that the trend is going to turn bullish. But how often does it happen that the minute you get a golden cross, you get a dump into the golden cross? And this is clearly what is happening now in the market. So this is what's going on with Phantom, and we are dumping. And you can see it. You'll see it all over the place. If you start looking for golden crosses, you're going to pick them up. You're probably going to pick it up on BTC as well. And oh, that is a hot zone, though. Woo! Okay, don't want to go there. It's very deep, guys. Very deep here on Phantom, 0.59. It's very deep. That means the market is absolutely rinsed. Okay, so that's a hot zone for me, 0.59. And let's try and dial in, just get a smaller time frame for the DGens. Where can we get a short-term bounce? So right now, bigger picture, you can see the drill. Okay, and crypto mob getting rinsed on Phantom. Okay, bro, worst case, 59. Okay, well, I don't want to say worst case. This thing can go low, but 59, it looks like a hot zone there to me on Phantom. Now let's go in. Let's go DGen vibes here. Let's look at what's going on lower time frames. So immediately you're going to pick up. And we've seen this on a lot of else. Immediately you see that. Okay, double top, bang. So you know that's not a good look. Then you can start looking at a couple of trends. And let's see what we got here. We got this trend from the bottoming out there. Okay, oops, lost the trend, looking a bit bearish now. And now we want to say short time frame, where can we get a bounce? So let's see, let's bang in a VWAP here. Let's see what they can give us.
By the way, guys, you guys can see a lot more of this in Sniper Club. Exactly what Dylan is doing right now.
Nice, Ray. So basically, you want to drop your VWAP on the 15 minutes, ideally, okay? But that takes a bit of time. You got to zoom in, you got to find the thing, you got to drop it, okay? So I'm just doing this for now. It will be fairly accurate, but you can see we've now lost that VWAP. Now we're going to say, okay, cool, we've hit our tops. Where can we bounce next from a DGen perspective? Where can we get some kind of move? Let's see what we've got here. We've got a 618. A little bit lower down, and there is a little bit of tie-in. So that is interesting there. So we could get a reaction there for you on Phantom. 666. Okay, not a good number, that, guys. 666, 0.666. So look out there. That would tie in very nicely with Injective hitting that dip. That would tie in nicely with Pendle hitting that dip. So can you see there's a picture happening here with some of these altcoins? So maybe at the 666 zone could be something interesting here for you guys. And yeah, look out for that. Let's check Wavemaster. Let's see what we got here to the downside. Okay, this is Wavemaster on the 4 hour. Okay, not quite at the bottom yet. The last time we had Wavemaster dip properly green, look at that. Okay, we close. It tells me we close. Okay, look at that. We got a nice big move out of it. It's just started printing a thicker green band here. So early days, let it hit the zone, let it float around here. 6.6, that type of region. Watch that area, I would say, and keep your eyes on the oscillator. Now, you can also use a regular RSI. That will also give you a clue as to what is happening there. So, yeah, 665, that's a hot zone there for me. Looking for some kind of bounce on that guy. Okay, good luck, everybody. Rough one out there, but you're going to be okay. And tomorrow we're coming back, and hopefully some of these entries have hit. If they're green again, then we're happy. Okay, then we're playing trend breaks tomorrow. And if we've lost those entries, then tomorrow we're finding new ones. And that is how the cycle continues in crypto and trading. Okay, guys, good luck. See you later. Jeez, I hope I don't get liquidated though.